Hello everyone, it is Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. Today I thought I would take you through some of the inks in my collection, specifically those that I find are winter inks. And winter inks are, when I look this up on Google, things like, ruby reds and dark purples and dark blues. And I look through my collection. Oh, they even said frosty pinks, things that were frosty or icy or anything like that. So I've looked through my ink collection to see what would fall under this category, and I've been able to find 12 inks that would suit winter. Now, these are not the top inks of all time that would be winter inks. These are just the inks that I currently have in my collection that would fit this category. So I will be swatching in my Hobonichi A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. I'm swatching with my Browse ornament nib. This is in the 3mm, and I'm also swatching with my Kakimori stainless steel nib, and this is on my River City Penco nib holder. And for those who want to know, this is a blotting paper that is from Esterbrook, goodness gracious, and it is the Coffee Monsters Co. themed blotting paper. Let's get started. The first ink I'm swatching is Colorverse Icy Moon, and it is a shimmer ink, and I'm just agitating it to make sure that I do get shimmer in my ornament nib here. One of the reasons why I like to go through my collection and do these little spring inks, winter inks, or just a state of a collection, because it's another excuse to be able to take out my inks and just use them. Because if I just used my inks just for journaling and planning and writing, it would take me years to go through, well, more than years, but like maybe 2 or 3 of my lifetimes to get through all of the ink that I have. So being able to use my inks in other fun ways is a bonus. So look at the lovely blue and just the shimmers that are a blue as well. They just play off so well together. My words are wonderful today. So Colorverse Icy Moon. And you might see a theme here that there are a few shimmers in this group. But the shimmer just reminds me of like the sparkly, sparkly snow. And this one is lovely. So Colorverse Icy Moon. Plus it has icy in the name, so of course it's a winter ink. The next ink is from a Diamine Inkvent calendar, the blue Inkvent. It is blue peppermint, and you can already see that there's a shimmer in here. I feel like, is every ink in here shimmer ink? Every ink except for one out of these 12 is a shimmer ink. Apologies in advance, but honestly, sorry, not sorry. I think having shimmers in this selection of inks just feels right, because I love seeing the fresh snow and seeing how it just sparkles and shines. It's so pretty when you see that fresh snow and then the sun just catches it and it's beautiful. So this is a Diamine blue peppermint. Lovely. And I love that it's this kind of teal base with almost like a green teal shimmer. Makes it different. I'm going to just take some from here so I don't have to dip it again. Lovely. Gorgeous. And the shimmer in that kind of makes it look like a sheen because it's a very good distribution of shimmer. So Diamine Blue Peppermint. The next ink is another Diamine Inkvent ink. It is from the green Inkvent. It is Deck the Halls, and as one of the colors that I said at the beginning of the video, it's one of those stark, dark purples. Stark. Goodness, it makes it sound very negative and bleak, but it's a really lovely purple. I feel like I've got a lot of ink on here. But I'm also a really big fan of purple, and I didn't think I normally would be, because in my day-to-day life, I don't normally choose purple. I'm normally I choose green for the things that I wear. But when it comes to inks and pens, purple, loving it. So this is Deck the Halls. And look at the way that it's drying. And now this is probably going to be very similar to another ink that I'm going to be swatching here shortly. But look at that beautiful purple. And then it's got pink shimmer. And I think you know what ink I'm going to talk about that's very similar to this. But we'll see once they're swatched together. But I love the combination of the purple base with the pink shimmer. It's just so, so pretty. So Diamine Deck the Halls. Another Diamine Inkven ink. This is oh no, sorry, this is not an Inkven ink. This is Diamine Shimmertastic Frosted Orchid. So I don't know if Diamine are still putting out their Shimmertastic inks, but there's a few that I've tried and they're lovely. So let's go ahead and put some on my ornament nib. Somebody commented on a is it my pen collection video or one of my videos, and they said to me, like, how do you have such clean hands and how come you don't have any ink on your fingers? And I'm like, when I'm doing a pen collection video, there's not going to be any ink on my fingers, but watch an ink video, there's going to be some stain on my hands. Or if I manage to get ink on my fingers, I don't know, I've been very good about not getting ink on my fingers for most of my videos now. I just think I've become so used to it, but that doesn't mean I don't. So this is Frosted Orchid. But I've also been very good, or I've learned how to be able to clean ink from my hands. And really the key is I use a sponge or a loofah. So something with a harder surface to really scrub your hand. But anyway, Frosted Orchid, I love the base purple of this. It's a little bit redder than Deck the Halls, but then you've got the silver shimmer throughout. Really, really lovely winter ink. So Diamine Frosted Orchid. The next ink is another Diamine Inkven ink, is Diamine Masquerade. And I needed to include this because I feel like it doesn't seem like your typical winter ink, but when you see it, I mean, I had to include a dusty pink in this, even though that's not normally your typical winter ink. But there's something about this that maybe it's because it reminds me so much of my winter sunrise pen. You've got the pinks with like it's got a pinky brown with the gold shimmer, reminding me of my winter sunrises. So, so pretty. I know some people probably maybe see this more as fall, but I don't know, it's part of the Inkven calendar. I think it's going to be somewhat wintry. So we have, oh my gosh, there's so much ink on there. Diamine. What's it called again? Masquerade. Masquerade. So pretty. Look at the gold shimmer. Whoops, here we go. Let's do this properly. That's not straight. The gold shimmer in here is just stunning. One of my favorite inks, because obviously it's dusty pink, but it's also a shimmer ink. Beautiful. Look, can you see the gold that is in here just throughout? And it seems like it's really subtle. I really like those subtle shimmers that don't punch you in the face with shimmer, but it's just one of those where you hold it in the light the right way and you can see all that shimmer. It's lovely. Diamine Masquerade. The next ink is from the brand Ferris Wheel Press, and it is called Auroralis. And it's one of those beautiful purples with shimmer. Yes, there's shimmer. I also wanted to swatch this close to Diamine Deck the Halls to see how similar these two are. And I can already see that there's difference just even in the base purple, because this purple also has pink shimmer. But you can see how different it looks already from Deck the Halls. It's definitely a different purple. Look at that. And then when it dries with all of that beautiful pink shimmer, such a stunning ink. Unfortunately, I don't think it's available anywhere right now because Ferris Wheel Press have this tendency to release inks as limited editions and not release them again. Aurora Alice, but also the name kind of for the Aurora Borealis. If you've never seen the Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights, oh my goodness. I live in Canada, in Alberta, and some of the Northern Lights that we get to see are just fantastic, even within my city. But anyway, look at the way that it's drying. It definitely looks different than Deck the Halls. Deck the Halls looks like it's a warmer purple, and this is a cooler purple. It's just stunning, and look at that pink shimmer throughout. Really lovely. Ferris Wheel Press Auroralis. The next ink from Ferris Wheel Press is Cabernet on the Lake. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily a winter ink or if you could classify it, but I feel like it is more of like a frosty ruby red, and that's why I want to include it. And I feel like shimmer inks are very wintry. Can you tell me why? I think shimmer inks are wintry, and I think I said it already once in this video, but it really is just the sparkle of the snow when it's freshly fallen. But I also put Christmas and winter together, and just the sparkle of the season and all that shimmer. And just look at the red. It's very much like a ruby color. So we've got Ferris Wheel Press, Cabernet on the Lake. Get it in there. And this was one of those inks that I had tried in a charger set where you get basically 3 inks in 5 ml sample sizes. And then I saw somebody on Simona's Discord group selling this, I think, and decided I had to buy it. Because, I mean, just look at it. It's gorgeous. It really is kind of a, what is it that I'm trying to say? Like a ruby color, a really, really lovely jewel color. So that is Ferris Wheel Press Cabernet on the Lake. The next ink is Ferris Wheel Press Stroke of Midnight. And this is not an ink that I would normally go for because I don't normally go for blue blacks, but because of the shimmer in this, it's stunning. So look at the beautiful dark blue that's going to come out in this swatch. And then the stunning silver shimmer that just works so perfectly with it. For me, it makes a blue black so much prettier when you've got that silver shimmer. And this definitely reminds me of winter because up here we get very little, I say very little, but a lot less sunlight in the winter. And nighttime comes a lot sooner. And then we get these beautiful, beautiful skies with lovely stars. And that's just what this reminds me of. So that is Ferris Wheel Press Stroke of Midnight. The next ink is the only non-shimmer ink in this whole list. It is Herbin Vert de Gris. Now, why did I choose this ink? I feel like I chose this one because this is an ink that just looks cold. Not in a bad way, but you know, a cooler toned grayish blue ink. And there are some days where it definitely feels gray out there. But I chose this gray over other grays in my collection because I also love the fact that there's a little bit of like blue in it. So this is Herbin Vert de Gris. It's just lovely. don't normally write with gray, but this one I really, really enjoy. Whoops. Probably because the more that it dries, and if you put it against other grays, it feels like it's more bluish green gray. And I love that. So that is Herbon Vert de Gris. Just wait for that to dry and see the shading. The next winter ink I have is from Pannonia and Stationery Universe. It is Midnight Morpho, and it is the shimmering. Ooh, it matches my nails. And I always have to remind myself, Karina, it's Morpho, not Mofo. My friend Tori's gonna have a laughing fit with how often I say Mofo instead of Morpho. But anyway, look at this ink. I love how it goes down this really cool wintry blue, but it's a chromo shader. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more up here. It's a little bit of a chromo shader with lovely, lovely shimmer. How come that's not coming out the way I'd like it to? Just got a little bit more here. There we go. That's the way it's supposed to be. There. All right. And then add my little circle up here on my stainless steel nib. So we have Pannonia and Stationery Universe. Midnight. Midnight Morpho. And like it, just the way that it's going to dry. Love it. So, so pretty. Oh, I don't think I have enough on my nib here. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. I'm just going to spread this around a bit just so that you get the full effect. So pretty. So that's Pannonia in Stationery Universe, Midnight Morpho. The next ink is also the other ink from Pannonia and Stationery Universe. It is Morning Morpho. I felt that these two were both really wintry inks with the purple and the blue, but also this one with the bluish teal with the shimmer. Both are, I think, really great inks for winter. Just look at that. It just looks icy and cold. And oh, sorry, Lucy's sitting with me and she's currently whining. Do you want to get off the chair, puppy? What would you like, puppy? She actually came into my office while I was filming. So I was in between inks and she wanted to jump up on my lap. And she's currently sitting in between me and the back of my chair. And now she's whining that she wants to get down. Always while I'm filming, Lucy. So Morning Morpho. I feel like the shimmer is definitely a lot more prominent in this ink than it is in Midnight Morpho. But they're both still absolutely beautiful. And they both handle shimmer really well in pens. Or the pens that I have them in handle the shimmer in these really well. So that is Pannonia and Stationery Universe, Morning Morpho. And last but not least, we have Wearingeul Atlas. And this one I only have a sample of, but I love it, and I really need to put it in a pen next month. And Wearingeul do shimmer inks well, I think, but look at that blue. And the shimmer in it as well. It's just stunning. I feel like the base of this has a lighter blue, but then you add that blue shimmer, and it just adds that extra element. So pretty. So yes, I know. Out of the 12 inks that I have here, 11 are shimmer inks. But can you blame me? Especially for winter inks, I think that anything that is shimmery should really be wintry and icy and everything like that. It's just a lovely, lovely combination. gorgeous. So that, I just love how that looks. It's just so wintry and fresh and icy and beautiful. Wearingeul Atlas. So there are the 12 inks that I've chosen as winter inks. And these, just again, these are the inks that I have in my collection. They're not necessarily the top 12 inks that you should use for winter, not at all. These are just the ones that I have in my collection that I think would fit this season really, really well. What do you think of the ones that I've chosen? And if you have any that are not in this list, please let me know down in the comments below. But I think when I look at this, yes, the shimmer is the consistent theme throughout all of this, but I feel like they also have very much their jewel tones, like the Aurealis and Cabernet on the Lake. And then the shimmer, to me, just really reminds me of winter and snow and ice. And yeah, shimmer is definitely the big theme in this. All right, but that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. And don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thanks again and have yourselves a great day.